This is Billie Ruth Sudduth, and this is Tamara Rousseau coming to you on my YouTube channel. Billie Ruth, you're going to be my first video.
No, it's not your last.
So
I'm a test case.
you are a test case. You and I met through medical circumstances.
Absolutely.
And I knew of you, and Lars knew you, and our good friend Lori Gilchrist. So I knew of you and Doug. But really got to know you when we had some medical issues.
Bad.
Yeah. So, but I did not know that you were from Tennessee original.
I was born in Swanee, Tennessee.
Now, what part of Tennessee is that?
It's in Cumberland Gap. It's west of Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And I left there when I was 2.5, so I have no memory of Swanee.
So,
and I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama.
that's right. So that's the big Alabama Roll Tide. Which is hard being a University of Tennessee fan, but
well,
that's okay.
My oldest brother graduated from UT.
Did he convert to a Vol, or did he stay?
No, he stayed in Tennessee. And then I have a sister that went to the University of Georgia.
Is that right?
So we got the whole Southeast.
So you guys had fun when it was football season. Yeah. You're a big football fan, aren't you?
Yeah, that's my event occurred with Alabama football. But yeah. And I have found a new family doctor when we moved. And I Googled him, and he's an Auburn graduate. So when I called, say, hey, will you take us as patients? I talked to his receptionist, and I said, and then tell him I said, Roll Tide. So he may not accept us.
Oh, anyway. Sure he will. So when you were working, you were a school psychologist, is that correct?
Right. I have a master's degree in social work from the University of Alabama.
Okay.
Married my husband my second year of graduate school. We moved to North Carolina, and he was director of multi-county mental health programs. And I could never find a job because he ran everything, and nepotism was big.
Right.
So I went back to East Carolina, and because I was an undergraduate psych major and got my certification in school psychology, and spent 13 years as a school psychologist in Craven County and then out west, and a little bit in Wilmington when we came back east. But when I started making baskets, I mainly said, this is what I'm going to do. And I pretty much quit my career, and when we moved up here 24 years ago, I let all my licenses expire.
Wow.
So there was no turning back. But I didn't want to wait until I'm as old as I am now to see if I could make it as a basket maker.
Now, what got you into basket weaving?
My boss, as a school psychologist at the end of a school year, said, Billie Ruth, you got to do something for fun over the summer or you're going to burn out. Because I was the only psychologist for Craven County, which goes from almost Kinston down past Cherry Point. And I was raising 2 boys and still raising Doug. But I was just, work. I love my job. But she said, do something for fun. So the community college did a 4 Monday night, $20. Learned to make an Appalachian egg basket. And I was there 15 minutes, and this is it. I love it.
You knew instantly.
I knew. My grandmother knitted and tatted and quilted and rug hooked, and my mother did, and my aunts, and they gave me a sampler, I think, when I was 13. And when I was 24, I finished it. I hated needle and thread. I would scotch tape and staple the hems in my dress. Hated needle and thread. But basket making, cooking, it doesn't last.
Right.
You please somebody else, but after the meal is over, it's gone. And with baskets, unless you burn them or sit on them or something, they last. And I won't say it's immediate gratification, because some of mine will take a long time. But it just, it gave me that feeling that I'm doing something that's beyond me, that will be here long after I'm gone. And having been a psychologist, it was almost like therapy for me. I would get into a Zen state. And I've been packing for the last 6 weeks, and I'm getting more irritable by the day because I hadn't been doing any weaving.
Right.
I've broken more fingernails packing than I ever did
weaving.
Making a basket. I've cut myself more packing than I ever have with a shave horse or draw knives.
So what made you and Doug decide to move here, if you don't mind?
Penland.
It was Penland.
We were in Wilmington, and Doug was running a free county mental health program, and I was asked to teach at Penland in the summer of '93. And we came up, and they had a hurricane, I think, on the coast while we were up here. But I loved the beauty of the area, the community, like-minded people. I didn't know how like-minded they were until we moved up here. But when he decided that it was time for him to sort of downsize his career, and I have followed him all over for his career. So I told him in '93, I'm moving to Penland, you want to come? And
See if he follows.
Lo and behold, they needed a director for the mental health center here.
Wow.
So he finished out his career here, and I've taught at Penland probably 5 or 6 more times. But definitely the community, the beauty of the area, the artists. And people don't realize that Birmingham, Alabama, is the last 2 mountains in the Appalachian chain. So it's not like, I didn't grow up. I went down a huge mountain with my Volkswagen in 4th gear and never touched the brakes.
Wow.
I won't drive here. Into that. But it was the community, the area, the people, the mountains, and that's what's making us leave. The mountains, the winters, the snow, the ice, how far we are away from medical care. It took us 2 years to really decide, yes, we got to do this. But when it was 12 degrees in December and there was ice on our driveway, we got to do it.
She has a steep driveway. We've been up and down it several times, haven't we, Billie Ruth?
Oh, yes. You taught me to walk up and down it.
We had some good conversations, and sometimes I had to say, Billie Ruth, wait for me, because you were determined. You're a very determined woman, Billie Ruth.
Look where it got me.
So you and Doug are starting a new chapter in New Bern.
Right. I mean, I've already figured out how I can convert a garage into a studio. When we lived in Wilmington, I was in a garage.
Okay.
And, I mean, this studio, I'm outside all day because of all the glass in here.
Yeah.
And I've got views. I can see the Black Mountains. I can see the cows. I can see the turkeys. And now I'm going to see golfers. And I don't know.
Get you some bird feeders and watch the birds, I always say.
Well, I want to get a hummingbird feeder, start small. But we lived in New Bern 33 years ago, and my younger son was born there, and both of my boys basically grew up there.
Okay.
So we know it a little bit, but you can't go home again. And, I want to make new friends because everybody we know is our age.
Yeah.
And I'm not as old as they are.
So another question I have for you is, some people think of, like, you quit your career and started with the basket weaving, and you just went, because it sounds like that was your passion.
Truly.
So what advice do you have to others that are teetering? I'm going to be 50 this year, and you're like, okay, what's the next chapter in your life? And
well,
what do you have, what advice do you
the
have?
thing that really helped me is my husband had a job.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to depend on me to make money. And he was very supportive the whole way. And fortunately, for my career, I was in the right place at the right time for a lot of it and had a lot of really good breaks. And the right people liked my work, and it just, sort of made my career take off. But I would say if it's something you're really passionate about, find a way to do it.
Right.
And find somebody that can support you. It's like actors that are waiters or whatever until they get a big break. But, don't wait in the 60s and 70s to see if you can make a go of it.
Right. So you're going to leave Mitchell County in what, 5 or 6 days?
5 or 6 days, yep.
Yeah, big trip.
And the crate takes up most of the back seat of the car. So everything else is going on the moving van. But I just, I'm always up for an adventure.
Yeah.
And we've had 3 pretty incredible health years and coming through most of it pretty good. So I'm very optimistic about this. I started making baskets in New Bern, and they know of my basket making career.
Right.
Some of them do anyway. And I'm going to keep on doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm miserable if I'm not making baskets.
So Billie Ruth, Lars told me that you're in the Smithsonian, so I'm going to D.C. in the fall. Is your stuff up in the Smithsonian still?
They rotate their permanent collection, but
Okay.
if you go to the American Museum of Art,
Okay.
which is different from the Renwick Gallery, which is the craft wing of the Smithsonian, if you go into this, I think it's the second floor, They've got their whole collection on a computer program.
Wow.
And you can type in my name and I'll pop up and talk to you about my work. And
Oh, how neat.
it depends on what part of their permanent collection.
Okay.
I just got a letter from the Asheville Art Museum today, and they have a pop-up exhibit at the credit union in Weaverville.
Wow.
And one of my baskets is on display there. I would make baskets if nobody bought them. I mean, I love it that much.